and we will try to answer you the best we can. Hi, everyone. This is Canna Corner with Candis Dyer. Today, Monday, we will be speaking with Courage in Cannabis crew. I am so excited. Broderick Randall, Dorothy, Thigpen, and Candy Flores. They're all going to be joining us here in just a minute. But first, I want to thank my sponsors, KM420 Radio in the house. Big shout out to them. Love that crew. So proud to be a part of it. And then WJAE 420 Radio, y'all. Big shout out to them. The Human Solution International, and our newest, Go Green Botanicals. We love Go Green. And so all them, they make all this possible. They always support, and you can watch the replay or catch the replay on the radio on WJAE420radio.com on Winnie Love Edge over there at 2 o'clock. They replay every Wednesday, and then also 2 o'clock on Sundays on KM420radio.com. So you can catch them both places if you miss the live on Facebook, on the Candis Dyer Facebook page, or you can wait till the night if you're at work still and catch it on my YouTube channel, Candis Dyer YouTube channel. So after we got all our sponsors out of the way, I want to go ahead and introduce our guest. So without further ado, I'm going to bring them all in. Broderick Randall, Candy Flores, and Dorothy Thigpen. I hope I'm saying that right. Hi, everyone. How are y'all doing?
Fine. How are you doing?
Hi.
Hello.
Good, thank you.
Doing amazing. I'm just having a great day. Actually, my nephew broke both of his arms, which sounds really bad, but we just found out today he don't need surgery, that no more.
That's good.
So I'm like, yay. So happy that, he's going to be okay. But
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm so happy to have y'all on the show today. I know I'm a big supporter of the Courage in Cannabis books. Dr. Bridget is amazing. I love her. And I know that basically the book is a bunch of different authors telling their stories. So I know on my screen, I'm seeing Broderick Randall first. So we're going to start with him. And if you'll just introduce yourself and let people know, who you are and what got you started down this path of being a cannabis supporter.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm Broderick Randall. I'm a business development and outreach manager over at Benelieves. It's a manufacturing standalone processing facility in Columbus, Ohio. One of the few African-American owned businesses in Ohio too. So definitely proud to say that. But I'm also cannabis activist and a patient and a sickle cell warrior. I'm a board member of Sickle Cell Alliance Foundation, and based out of Cincinnati. And I'm trying to help spread awareness and the positivity that cannabis can bring to a lot of people that may be struggling with this illness or even other illnesses. I've discovered that cannabis could provide a much better quality of life based on the side effects and just discovering, doing self-research and personal research. It is a much safer alternative. And
Right.
I got involved. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, right. We are the scientific evidence. We are the first studies on this. So that's just great.
Yep. So yeah, it was, kind of hitting or, self-medicating for a while, like secretly. And then
Right.
I was able to discover through self-research and, experience that it was actually bringing better, like I said, quality to my life.
That's awesome. So you have sickle cell. You want to explain that a little bit?
Sickle cell anemia. Yeah, I have sickle cell anemia SS. My sister also has it as well. We were both born with it. My mother and father unknowingly had the trait, and together, obviously, that formed a full disease, and it's a genetic blood disease that causes. It can cause sickle red shape. Most of our cells are normally circular, and with the sickle cell, some depending on what area, it may tend to get clogged up or cause any severe pain. It could be due to the blood cells being sickle shaped and causing a lack of oxygen and flow uh, to that area, which in time could cause severe organ damage or even necrosis. I myself, and I know my sister, we've already had like some major surgeries to our bodies just because of necrosis and the lack
Man.
of oxygen. But yeah, that's a kind of like a brief summary of sickle cell. I mean, it's a lot too. It's an autoimmune disorder.
Right,
Um,
right.
it's also a hidden disability. So a lot
For
of times
sure.
folks don't really recognize it or see me like to have any illnesses or weaknesses.
Right, right. And that can be difficult because people look at you and like, there's nothing wrong with you. Like,
Yeah.
I totally understand that because I got PTSD and I look normal, but things like, you still deal with things. But how did cannabis help you with that? Like for the audience, like maybe somebody has sickle cell and they're listening to you right now. Like, what did it help you with as far as that goes?
It's helped with quite a bit. First and foremost, it definitely helped with me not becoming dependent on opioids. That's like the number one. Well, that's a big killer. Period. But I know that pain meds, high dose pain meds, is like the number one treatment for sickle cell, and really
Right.
like they're starting to become more research out there, but we definitely need more funding and awareness. But mainly, since we were youth, we get the morphine or Dilaudid and through IV, or they send you home with like Percocets or generic ones, and depending on the level of those, that could be very highly addictive, and
Yes.
even it can even be mentally destroy, damaging. That's another silent another silent like disability sort of,
Right.
and that comes along with sickle cell as well. Your mental health, it can affect that. So cannabis has helped alter all of those the negative things. So definitely keeps me in a better mood, keeps me uh hungry, even having an appetite sometimes, like not, I don't always get the munchies or
Right.
whatever they call it, but definitely to some people, cannabis, they need cannabis to even eat,
Yep.
and so it's helped in a lot of ways. It's helped just, like I said, mental health is important. Pain, definitely. I don't rely on opioids at all. That's like my emergency go-to resource so that I don't have to go to the hospital,
Right.
because that's more of a legal prison in another way. But no, I mean, I respect to all the healthcare workers, but in some ways you get with a hidden disability, you can get mistreated, and being
Yep.
a Black male, I've definitely experienced some cases where they thought I was just drug seeking, and it's never been the case.
I totally feel you. Like I've had the same thing happen. I mean, it's degrading to go in there and like be in pain and asking them for help, and then they'll be like, well, it's all in your head, this is fine. Like I know they told me I had tennis elbow and that I was pain seeking, and then they found out that I have three pinched nerves in my back and two bulging discs. That's what was making my arm hurt. They were
Wow.
taking x-rays of my arm and it was in my back, and the whole time, you're just a pain seeker. Like they treat you like crap. I mean, it's very
Yeah.
degrading, and it sucks that you have
Discouraging
to go
for
through that.
sure.
Right.
I know a lot of people tend to not want to go through that experience at all, or at least the amount of times as possible.
Right. Well, it's very addicting too. The medication they put you on, man, and it's very unhealthy, and it ends up giving you more problems than it's helping most of the time. And I'm so glad that you've been able to stay off pain meds and that it's helping you. And as far as the story, the book, what gave you the idea? Hey, I want to tell people my story and tell people how they get a hold of you for this book.
To purchase or to be involved?
Either one. I mean,
okay.
Sorry, I didn't know about the involved part.
Okay, now, well, I mean, to how I kind of got involved, Dr. Bridget and I are pretty good friends, and I remember when it was kind of, just a vision being talked about, and she's like, "Hey, if I do this, would you join me?" And I'm like, "Sure," but it was also she's heard my story, and
Right.
like, being a doctor, hearing about sickle cell and cannabis. So she knew how powerful it was. So she's like, "How about you actually share it, basically share it to the world?" And my sister and I were actually supposed to. I mean, she's in the story too. So because we both have it, and
right.
I'm hoping that she continues the story, because her story as well is very powerful. But we were asked together, and due to other health reasons, she wasn't able to take advantage of it like that. But I made sure that I compiled both our stories, and
that's awesome.
And spread awareness for it, because there's not a lot of awareness and education on sickle cell. I've actually been to a hospital in Columbus. I'm not going to name drop, but they weren't really quite prepared to handle how to, when I got rushed to a hospital one evening, they didn't know how to handle a sickle cell patient. So that's something that I hope a lot of patients don't have to go through, or continue to, at least. And so just got to keep spreading awareness and getting research done and funding for it to be done, so we can find more safer and natural ways, such as cannabis. And even I believe food is medicine, and like eating properly too, but that's not really talked about or brought really, especially at a hospital. It's not really I don't know, practice in some ways.
Right. Natural medicine kind of went in the way wind or whatever, and now it's all pop a pill.
An experiment, kind of. I feel like experiment with it.
Yeah. Let me throw a few of these pills in these petri dishes and find out which one helps them and which one don't.
Right.
Basically.
But to get involved, though, obviously you could reach out to Dr. Bridget, courageandcannabis.com. Reach out to myself, and I can be reached out on LinkedIn, Facebook, or like that's, or even I'm working on with Sickle Cell Alliance Foundation. So hopefully soon you might be able to reach out through that organization and help out to nonprofit organization out of Cincinnati. And we're definitely trying to raise awareness and provide some community resources and opportunities for people with sickle cell, and that what they may need or could benefit from. So thank you for the opportunity, and looking forward to hearing more powerful stories.
For sure. And thank you so much for coming on. And is there anything else that we've missed that you'd like to tell? I don't want to skip out on anything that you had that you wanted to say.
No, I mean, not at this moment. Cannabis is medicine. It's plant medicine.
For real.
To be legal, let's change the federal classification and make it more accessible and affordable to those who really need it.
Definitely.
We all may need it. I think it's medicinal for us all.
I do too. I think it's a vitamin deficiency. I think it's like calcium. If you took that out of your diet, that you had been getting, it's part of your body, building your body up. And we have an endocannabinoid system for a reason. And you take cannabinoids out, then you wonder why people's bodies are all out of whack, because they're not getting the vitamin they need.
Yeah, I do think people should be able to grow their own medicine. That's one last thing.
Yes. I want to take big pharma out of it. I'm so done with big pharma. I mean, not don't get me wrong, doctors are great and everything, but like you said, because of the natural medicine being pushed out of a lot of, offices nowadays, it's just.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. I think it should be I wish this new medical system could be set up to be more involved with real communication versus like doctor-patient interaction versus just come in 15, 20 minutes, give you a list of medicines.
Just a number on the paper. Yeah.
Yes. I tell people in this industry, you are your own doctor, but I mean, it helps to talk with a doctor too. But that way you take that approach and have, that self-respect that you know what you're talking about.
For real.
You know what works and what doesn't. But
definitely. Thank you so much, Broderick. And I am so looking forward to reading your story. I'm planning on getting the book soon. So looking forward to reading
send you one.
Oh, well, thank you. My next on my list is Miss Dorothy Thigpen. Am I saying that right?
Close enough. Thigpen.
Thigpen. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mess up your name.
Trust me. Much worse has been
gotcha.
done to that name.
Well, heck yeah. Well, I'm so excited to have you on here, Dorothy. And I know that you've got an amazing story as well. Why don't you just introduce yourself and who you are, and then what got you started and down the cannabis road?
Well, I'm Dorothy Thigpen. I originally started out in film. I'm a filmmaker, and I worked in New York for a number of years, and then I came home from New York back to Ohio, where I am now, to be caregiver for my mother, and she had dementia and some other ailments. And so when I found out about the cannabis school in Cleveland, Cleveland School of Cannabis, I started attending that because I'm semi-retired basically now, and I've always had a huge interest in cannabis, and I know that it helped my mom way back in the late 70s, early 80s, when she first had cancer. Her doctor, suggested after taking chemo and radiation that she use it. And so, so that was kind of my first experience with cannabis as a real medicinal plant. I mean, I was a young person, so I already knew about it recreationally. But so when the doctor suggested that she try it out back then, my brother and I were, hey, we'll help you out.
Yeah, we will.
So that was my first experience, and it really helped my mother when she had cancer. She had a prognosis of like 5 years, and that was in early 80s. And so yeah, I came back about 5 years ago. She lived to 90.
Wow, that's awesome.
And So when I came back and was caregiver for her, for a few years, we definitely used cannabis to help her out. And cannabis did a lot of things medicinally. She had diabetes really badly when I came back, through diet, nutrition.
Right.
And also I feel through CBD and cannabis, it really helped her, and she was able to get off insulin.
Heck yeah.
And she was slowly having strokes and slowly developing dementia. But the cannabis, or even just some CBD really helped to engage her and really made her life much more pleasant.
Right. And now there's studies coming out about Alzheimer's and how it's slowing down the clock and turning it back just a little bit. I mean, that's amazing, having those extra clear days that you wouldn't have had. It's repairing the brain cells. It's like, wow.
The thing is, I had seen years before, I had seen what they were doing in Israel and using it.
Right.
And so that really made me think, when I had to, figure out how to help my mom, I looked into what they were doing in Israel and how they were using it with elderly people and with people with dementia and Alzheimer's. And so I really just thought it's worth a try. And
definitely.
I mean, I'm an advocate, and I use it myself for PTSD, anxiety, depression. And I read something about our endocannabinoid system. We have it in us, but it really starts weakening as we get older.
Oh, wow.
And I just read that in some research paper. And so a lot of people are walking around. I mean, it's when we're younger, we have those receptors and those cannabinoids and the I guess cannabinoids, but
right.
We have it in our system more, just like everything else. When we're young, we have everything.
Yeah. Everything.
All those things,
great skin, are great hair, great eyes,
healthy,
great. And then
and but as we age, it starts going down, just like all the other things.
Right.
And our hormones change in male and female. And so so I really, after reading that, I was really like, wow, this is something that we really need to start encouraging everyone to look at it as something like we have to take vitamins, and we have to do a lot of things that will boost our systems, our natural systems.
And if you don't want to get high, you can just do CBD, but you're still getting the cannabinoids that you would by smoking. And if you'd rather smoke, then get it through smoking and take a little CBD too. But yeah, it definitely. I think it's funny that people are like, "Oh, well, cannabis can't help everything," and it's like, no, cannabis doesn't really help.
I think it can.
Everything. It helps our body get into homeostasis, which makes everything else line up. And so, yes, it helps everything, but it's because it's leveling out our bodies. And when we don't have that, like I said, vitamin deficiency, like that's the lamest terms I can put it. If you don't have iron in your diet, you got to have iron in your diet. Like things are going to start going wrong. Or if you don't have calcium or zinc or water, if you don't have any of your body starts telling you about it.
Probiotics, prebiotics, probiotics, or what's happening in our gut.
Exactly. Yes,
It's really
definitely.
important. And we have receptors in our gut for
And
cannabis.
right, everywhere. And
Yeah, everywhere.
Man, it's just like with all the diet stuff that we eat today, like all the stuff that's in our food and stuff, it's amazing that we're even still functioning. Like
True.
we can
Yeah.
use all the help we
Yeah.
can get.
True story.
I know I can.
For sure. So what got you started in, okay, I'm gonna put my story in this book, and tell us a little bit of
great.
how that happened,
Yeah,
and then how to get in touch with you.
Kind of the same story as Broderick. I know Dr. Bridget from the school. I met her, and she was an instructor, one of my instructors at the Cleveland School of Cannabis. And she knows my story, and she invited me to be part of the book. And the rest is history.
That is awesome.
I have a story in there. And I think at first I was really hesitant. I'm the kind of person who, no one's interested in my story or whatever. But I think if it can help people, and there's always someone out there who can identify with your story.
Exactly. And that's why we need to tell them all, because I have PTSD and it helps me with PTSD, but the lady down the street may not have anybody that has dealing with PTSD. And until it gets personal, they're not going to look it up. So you telling your story about Alzheimer's, maybe her grandmom is dealing with Alzheimer's, and she's going to open her ears a little bit more now because that hit her. She deals with that. She actually cares about somebody with that. So that's going to give her that to go look it up, because all you got to do is go research, and you will see. Google cannabis is medicine, and boom, you will see.
You can just use Wiki and Google.
Yep, for sure. So how do people get a hold of you if they want to get a hold of the book, or do you have anything else you're a part of?
Well, I'm still on the board with the film organization I worked at in New York, and I'm trying to get back into some projects, some film and media projects, and I'm also trying to get into the cannabis industry, and I'm working with a couple friends on a hemp farm in Alabama.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
That'll be great. It's nothing better than getting your hands in the dirt and growing.
Well, I don't know anything about farming, but
it's healing.
She kind of inherited a lot of land in Alabama. It's right outside of Florida. So
awesome.
That'll
be fun endeavor.
Stages. Yeah.
Well, when you get it up and going, and this goes for every one of y'all, if you have any business that you are fixing to do that's not ready yet, and when it gets ready, hit me up and we'll get you on and let you talk about it and tell everybody.
I've always, my whole life,
even
before cannabis, I always wanted to have like a cafe, and
that'd be awesome.
I'd love to have a cafe, especially when it becomes legal in Ohio.
Consumption lounge.
Exactly.
Get a little jazz going, some coffee.
Lots of things, community.
Man, be awesome.
In Brooklyn, they had places where, every night was something different, and it really focused on community and education. And
that would be awesome.
Things like that. Yeah.
I would go there.
Me too.
Okay, we got to do it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Dorothy, for coming on today and sharing your story with us. And again, I can't wait to get to read it.
Thank you very much.
Candy. How are you doing, love?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Always, I always got you. I know that I've had you on here before, but I can't wait for you to share your story. Go ahead and tell everybody about who you are, what you're involved with, and what got you started on this journey.
Well, I'm Candis Flores from Texas South, and I started with Courage in Cannabis or the same. I met Dr. Bridget at an expo actually at Lucky Leaf, and she asked me if I wanted to participate in the book, and so sharing my story in the book, how it saved me. I've been a user since 2017. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I have several autoimmune disorders. When I started consuming, I actually was on a morphine pump for 5 years. On top of that, I was on opiates as well. After all that, you know, when I turned to cannabis and saved me, you know, basically I was sent home and there was nothing else I could do for me. So cannabis really, really helped me. I didn't know anything about it when I first tried it, but as time went on, I educated myself and learned more and traveled and just wanted to get the best of, you know, the natural medicine. And then I also started incorporating CBD with it and just the benefits of it. You know, I'm able to control my pain. It's actually not gone, but I'm able to function.
Right.
I also have PTSD, which helps me with that. Inflammation, just your gut, you know, different stomach issues. But other than that, I feel we need more education, especially here in Texas, for sure.
Definitely, as a Texas citizen, they definitely need to educate. Sorry, I think you froze a little bit right there. I was just going to jump in and save it a little bit.
Yeah.
But yes, Texas, man, they need to get their together. Like, I don't know what they're doing at their whole, I don't know, the whole teacup plan thing, man, it's like they could have done a little better, I think. But
yeah, definitely has some work ahead of it.
Right. I'm interested to see what it grows into. At least they're finally starting to take steps forward after years of the baby steps, but it gets frustrating. But I know you did say you were a part of the teacup plan. Why don't you explain to us some of the pros and cons of it?
I guess the pros, I guess, you know, we're legal, you know, to use. But I'd say we definitely need more dispensaries here in Texas
For
that
sure.
we can choose from, different products, because we're very limited.
Right. I think there's one in Austin you can get, or is there more than one?
There's two.
Two.
We have two in Austin, but it's very limited, you know, especially when you need certain terpenes, you know, it's really hard. You know, we have no choices as far as like adding. It's just what's in the product and that's it. So it's limited, you know, and it's sad because a lot of us will end up leaving because we don't have, you know, what we need here. Right. Especially, you know, we need, for those using it medicinally, we need good quality, you know, for sure.
For sure.
Another thing, I guess, is it's hard because as being a teacup here in Texas, we don't get cards. You know, it's just they're able to look you up.
Right.
But I mean, it just depends who
you're dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, if they're having a bad day, or you know, you can go through all that legality, and you know, I don't think it's fair.
Yeah, they can pick and choose. Like a cop really against it still is going to be a little harder on you the one that's
Right.
not educated on it. And I know another thing for me is I wish they'd do smokable. Like it's just
Right.
tinctures and gummies right now, I think.
Right.
And
there's a couple of drinks out there, but you know, it's the same thing. I mean,
right.
there it goes with, you know, I'm sure it's considered an open container, or, you know,
Right.
just
Something.
the stigma is still really bad with, you know, with all that. And of course it affects the patients as well. You know.
Definitely.
I would say, and then of course, you know, when you're traveling, when you're in another state, they're like, you know, do you have your card? You know, we don't have cards, we don't have
Right.
anything, you know, they have to look you up.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is time consuming for, you know, if you do get pulled over, or, you know, just for anything. I don't think
Yeah,
that
because
they're
if
gonna
you're in
wanna give you-
another state, they're not connected to the Texas computer, so they're not gonna know. They're gonna be like, well, we need,
Right.
we can't
Yeah.
go. I don't got time to call your doctor and find out if you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
so
And
then
they're
you're in
supposed
a
to be able to look it
situation
up.
where if you don't have the
Yeah.
money to fight it, you basically are just
Yeah.
that's not a good, that I didn't even realize
Right.
that was a problem until you just said that. That's not a good deal at
Yeah.
all.
Because they're supposed to be able to look you up by the last 5 digits of your social. But I mean, it just depends. Are they going to want to give you that extra time looking you up? Or,
Right.
you know, what if it's a new cop, or, you know, I don't know how the system runs. So, you know, if they're educated or not on that. But I feel like as patients, we'll have to go through that, you know,
Yeah.
ordeal, you know, or just, you know, I don't know. It's just a lot.
No,
I
it
feel
is
that
definitely.
you know, it's still needs a lot of work. And I hope that, you know, everything goes through for us, because, you know, a lot of us definitely need it. And, you know, we're not bothering anybody. It's, you know, they actually, I feel everyone should get educated on it to learn the medicinal value of it and the quality of life, to be able to see others that, you know, what they went through at one time, and then now they're a different person, being able to heal naturally. And, you know, it's not all about getting high. It's, you know, because you still hear people say, oh, you know, that she just wants to be high. No, it's not, you know.
Well, and you know what? And the funny thing about that is it's like, but it's okay for you to take your Xanax and your hydrocodone.
Right.
And don't tell me you ain't getting high off that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
you getting high off that
Exactly.
too. So if it makes you feel good and you're in pain and it's helping you, then what does it matter? Like,
Even the Adderall.
yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, you know, pharmaceutical drugs that are being abused, and
Right.
it's okay, or being prescribed, you know. I know at one time I had to go to the ER because I also have, you know, lung problems. And so at least once a year I get costochondritis. And I was during a move, and I was out of, I know exactly what I need, but I didn't have it. And since I had just gotten a COVID shot not too long before it happened, they said no, I had to go to the ER because they didn't know it was related to the vaccine.
Right.
So I went to the ER, you know, because that was the only way I was going to get relief. And usually when it happens, I have trouble breathing and feels like a bricks on my chest.
Right.
So finally I had to go in. So I went to the ER, and of course, with them knowing my history, and I hadn't, since I've been using cannabis and CBD, I have less visits, you know, ER visits, you know, hospital stays.
Right.
I've done great, you know. So they saw my history and they said, well, okay, we need to get you more, you know, we're going to start you on morphine, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, like I get this, you know. I told them what it was. I said, this is what my doctor gives me. I need these two, you know, it's a steroid and a muscle relaxer just to help it, you know, and
right.
within, it goes away within 3 to 5 days. And so then they came back in. They said, okay, well, we need you to sign this. And I was like, well, what am I signing? They wanted me to sign that I was refusing service. I was like, I'm not refusing service. I'm refusing, any morphine or,
Yes.
any type of opiates. I said, with, my previous experience, like I said, I just use
Yes.
natural medicine. And
Right.
so anyway, we argued, I said, I'm not refusing service. I need 2 prescriptions. Like I'm here, everything else, they did the EKG, everything was fine. So, the x-ray showed what it was.
Right.
So I was, there right away. They were like, well, no, this is what you need. I'm like, no, I don't need morphine. Like I've been there, done that. Like,
Oh my
I'm,
God. I've heard
it's
so much of, you being treated like a drug seeker because you want these meds, but never once have I ever heard that they actually punish you because you refuse them. Like that is crazy.
Yeah.
Like they should never do that. Like they know how addicting it is. And if you've got an ex person who has been on that medication and it was addicted to it, because you're going to get addicted to it if you take it, period. That's what it says on the bottle. If you take it longer than this, no matter who you are, you will be addicted to it. You will get sick after you quit taking it, which is addiction. And for them to know all that and then like try to make you sign something saying you're refusing service, that is just outrageous.
Yeah. So anyway, I finally, made someone understand that, I didn't have to sign, because I wasn't going to sign. I needed medication.
Right.
I needed 2 prescriptions, and, they just wanted to make sure that the vaccine wasn't, that wasn't a side effect from the vaccine. So
right.
That's the reason I had to go to the ER, because if not, there's no way, because of my autoimmune disorders. Like I stay away from any type of sickness. So
yeah, you don't need to be in a hospital.
I'm not going to go to the ER just because. So, but yeah, that was not so long ago. It's going to be a year, but still, it's like, I was like, geez.
Man, well, I'm so sorry you have to deal with all that, Candy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of you for coming and as far as you have. And I'm so glad cannabis has helped you do it. Your story is a lot like mine. I was on a pharmaceutical nightmare, and it would have killed me. Like it would have killed me. It did kill my mom. It would have continued to kill me. So addiction runs in our family, and you give us anything like that, will be addicted to it. Like, and cannabis, I go by addiction as in I'm going to get sick, be throwing up, puking, sweating, shakes. That's what I go by addiction. Now, sitting there and being like, man, I'm out of weed, I wish I had a joint. That's not addiction. That's, I just want to feel better for a minute. Like, you're not going to be physically ill if you don't get that joint. You're not going to go rob your neighbor to get that fix. It's not addictive.
Exactly.
Well, man, I'm coming up on the hour. Go ahead and tell people how to get a hold of you. And then I enjoyed it. This hour has gone by really fast.
Thank you. You can get a hold of me on Facebook or Instagram, Candy Flores, and you can purchase our book on courageandcannabis.com.
Heck yeah. And you can
gotta read the book. It's a really good book.
For sure. And maybe a Christmas present, maybe your family member that you've been trying to talk to about cannabis for years, and they're not listening to you. Give them this book, and tell them, read all these are other people, not just me saying it. Like read this book and see all these people and how it helps them.
And
maybe it'll change someone's mind.
There's all just a broad range of stories in it. It's really engaging.
It's powerful all together, compiled together, in my opinion.
For real.
And
for real.
It's hard to know.
The powers in the stories.
I hope you do your story.
Oh, hey, I would love to, for sure, for sure. I got a crazy long story, but
That's what we need to see here.
I've actually been thinking about doing one because somebody had said, why don't you write, but my problem is I'm not a really good writer and I don't even know where to start. Like,
well, that's the thing.
That's how we
they
all
have
felt.
people helping you.
oh, do they?
They'll set up.
Oh, wow.
And,
okay.
And they'll edit what you wrote. So
cool. Okay. Yeah, I would love to. For sure.
Yeah, it's a great team.
Y'all are awesome. Thank y'all so much for coming on. And like I said, open invitation. There we go. Open invitation to come on whenever y'all get your hemp garden going or whatever you're working on. And you'd like to let the cannabis community know about it.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you all so much. And y'all have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
You too.
You too. Thanks for having us.
Always.
Right.
Hell yeah, y'all. So that was Courage in Cannabis, a few of the wonderful artists or authors that they have. And y'all have to check this book out. Like, there's so many different stories. And it's just a really good book. I've about 5 authors now. And y'all can look forward to at the end, the Monday at the end of every month, having a couple more of the authors come on and talk about their story. So, and like I said, you got somebody in your family who doesn't believe cannabis is good, that, oh, you just want to get high person or whatever. Hand them this book. Tell them to read these stories. Be like, it's not just me. It's all these people too. Like, it'd be a good way to change somebody's mind. Hi, Farah. Love you, girl. Hi, DK. Trisha. Robert. Wanted to say hi to everybody over there. The next Canna Corner guest that we have. Hold on. Let me look at my calendar real quick. Mike Alvarez, y'all. That's what I thought, but I had to make sure before I said it. He is one of, my mentoree. Like, we did this mentor program with the prisoners that got released for cannabis with the Human Solution International, right? So Mike Alvarez was my first person that I was handed, and he is doing a great job. He had like $4,700 and 16 whatever of tickets that he had to pay off before he could even get his driver's license. And he's almost got rid of every one of those. He's been like a hard worker. I can tell he's going to be really diligent once he is able to get on his feet and get his job. And he's going to be coming on and telling y'all about his story. He is needing help with his hip replacement. So we're talking about getting a GoFundMe started for him. So, I should have the GoFundMe set up by the 4th for this show. But he's going to come on. He's going to talk to y'all about some of the difficulties that he had after being released from prison. There's lots of people, y'all, still in prison for cannabis, and they're selling it in all over the place. Like, it's time to let them out. All of them. Non-violent, let them out. They shouldn't even be in there. They should have never been in there to begin with. And it's time to let them out. But now that they're coming out, a lot of these people are needing help. There's a lot, they can't get help with housing. They can't get help with certain things because most of them are felons because cannabis is Schedule 1. And so most of them are having trouble even getting government funded help and stuff. But Mike is a really good guy. He basically, like I said, worked his butt off to get these tickets dissolved. And now the only thing standing between him and his CDL is a hip replacement. I think he said he had his CDL or he's getting his CDL. He'll tell his story on the 4th. But that's what his plan is. His end goal is to drive a truck. There's a lot of openings for that right now. So we could get him enough money to have his hip surgery and get him in a truck and going. that is what he said would help him the most. So that's what we're going to try to help him with. I look forward to having him on here. And then we've also, what was I gonna? Sorry, y'all. Yes. So I guess I can't remember what I was gonna say. We also, Scott is coming back. He had canceled the past couple times, but he is going to be on that next Monday. So those are our next two guests. If y'all want to learn more about the mentor program and the helping prisoners, we've got a Welcome to Mars podcast that goes on Instagram where we interview the prisoners, the released cannabis prisoners, and talk to them about what it is that they could use help with. And yeah, so you get to know them, see their faces, see that these are normal, everyday people. I could be in their situation, y'all. I didn't get caught. You could be in prison right now for your smoking cannabis, but you didn't get caught. Or, we got to help them when they get out. We got to give them the best chance to stay out. They should have never been in there to begin with. They lost a lot. Some cases, family, homes, cars, everything. They got stuck in prison and lost everything for a plant, y'all. I mean, it's ridiculous. So yeah, if you want to know more about that, go to the Human Solution International on Facebook, IG, or go to thsintl.org. Why do I feel like I'm saying that wrong? Sorry, y'all. No? Okay. That's right. ORG. thsintl.org. And Becca's done a great job building up our website and getting that going. So if you'd like to volunteer or donate or anything, all that's on that website. And just click and go. We also help with community service. So if anybody has any community service that they want to do, and we're always looking for volunteers. Always looking for help. Heck yeah, y'all. Well, that's the end of today's show. Thank y'all all so much for joining me. Y'all go check out Courage in Cannabis, and I will see y'all later. Peace.